financial crisis, but also the social and the ecological crisis, highlight the importance of a consistent rethinking of economic policies. In order to deal with these issues, the EPOG Master's course wants to train a new generation of experts that will be able to work in public administration, such as ministries, regulatory agencies, also as researcher, to work in non-governmental organization and in the private sector. These learning outcomes will be very specific to the EPOG Master's course.
Master degree in Economic and Policy Innovation in Torino offer training focus on understanding technological change, understanding structural change, understanding the economics of change in industry and in government. We specifically focus on economics of knowledge, economics of science, economics of innovation, and we look at it from a perspective of Schumpeterian economics, in which turbulent time means every day's time. Change is part of the dynamic of economy and society.
The Masters in International Economics at the Berlin School of Economics is first of all about international economics, because we think that it's very difficult to understand what's going on within national economies today unless you take into the international dimension. This is particularly true in Europe, but it's true everywhere, with the strong influence of international monetary and financial developments, especially under the current conditions with the crisis that began in the United States. We try to ensure that students have a background in the history of economic developments. You can't understand what's going on today unless you understand how the economies have developed, certainly over the post-war period, the period since the Second World War, but also many of the key features were established even before that. And finally, we try to link up this theoretical and historical approach to current policy debates.
This is a very interesting time to study economics. The program, the EPOG part at Kingston, will focus on macroeconomics, political economy, and issues of financial stability. It is a course where students will study mainstream economics as well as heterodox economics with a strong focus on policy making. That course tries to clarify how modern economies have changed through the process of financializations, what the ramifications in economic relations are due to the increasing role of finance, and how international production networks, the globalization of production, has affected the workings of economy.
The Masters in Development Theory and Policy at Wits University in Johannesburg is an opportunity to study economic development from the point of view and from a developing country, which is itself increasingly becoming a hub for a lot of African research and African policy discussions. Our master's degree has I would say two main characteristics. On the one hand, it has very strong links with the South African and increasingly the Southern African economic policy making communities. Our degrees were started with support from the Minister of Trade and Industry in South Africa. And our objective, our first objective, was to train a new generation of policymakers that have a more complex understanding of economics and economic development. The second specificity of our degree is that it is very tightly knit with a number of international networks in economics and economic development, and in particular heterodox networks of Marxist and Keynesian, Kaleckian economists and political economists. In the context of the current crisis, it's quite clear that economics is a science that needs to be refounded. And we believe that doing so from the perspective of an emerging market country is probably one of the most interesting ways to think about challenges such as unemployment, poverty, and how economic policies can help to address them.
Finally, beyond scholarships that the students will be able to get within this program, we also want to enroll students that will not have the chance to get scholarship. And this is why we keep in mind that we should not have high tuition fees for this program. And the tuition fees are set low. And so if you want to participate in this program but not get a scholarship, you can also think to this opportunity to be enrolled in an international program with many world-class organizations.